Hi, I'm Nancy Johnson with Intention to Balance, and welcome to Holistic Living, where we are teaching people how to live more naturally. And I usually have guests on my show, but today there was some people wanted to know more about essential oils, so that is my favorite topic, so that's what I'm going to talk about today. And I'm really going to show you how they're safer, cheaper, and more effective than other things that you tend to use without the side effects or addictions, which is such a problem these days. So I'm really excited to share this information. And I've been using oils for about 9 years now, and I have learned so much that there's a lot of difference in oils, and I want to show you all about that as well. So let's get started. So oil basics, for those of you who don't know about oils, they come from all parts of the plants, the stems, the barks, the tree, and they're basically aromatic compounds, which means they go into the air. And so you can use them a lot of different ways to get the same benefits. So you kind of figure out what way you like to use them most effectively. And what oils do is they really get right more to the root cause of whatever health symptom that you're dealing with. And they're just meant to help the body do what it's designed to do naturally. So that's why they work so well. And they're cost effective, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, but that's why you don't need so much. So first of all, let's talk about some different oils. I want to jump right in and some of my favorite oils, but some of the more traditionally used frequently oils and ways that you can use them that are going to save you money, which is always good, right? So lavender is an oil that is good for so many things. You know, most people think about lavender as really calming and using it for sleep, but it has so many other great benefits as well. It's actually good for burns. I straighten my hair when I don't wear it curly, and I've sometimes, get a little burn on my head, and I'll put lavender oil right on there, and it just takes it right away. Or if I get a cut, I'll actually use like Melaleuca first, and then I'll put lavender on top of it, and that tends to take it away really quickly. So I love lavender alone and with other oils. And then the next oil I want to talk about is peppermint. Peppermint is also a very versatile oil. Most people think about peppermint as breath and good for their breath, but it's actually really good for your digestive system, and it's also really good as well for any head tension that you have, and it's just very uplifting as well. So if you are driving and you're getting tired, you just take a little bit of peppermint under your nose and it'll wake you right up, and it just smells really amazing too. I tend to dab it on my tongue because it actually gives me energy, and I'll talk about ways to use oils in a minute. And for your digestive system, I use it a lot as well. If I'm feeling a little stomach upset, or if I've eaten something maybe that usually affects me a little bit, I'll use peppermint. But one of the really beautiful things that peppermint is also good for is memory. And for memory recall, but I worked at an assisted living community where we use this quite frequently, diffusing it in the memory care unit. So I love peppermint oil. And then I want to talk about lemon. Lemon oil is, and these three oils together, lemon, peppermint, and lavender, are actually helping people with a lot of allergies and those kind of sinus issues as well. I work with a product called Tri-Ease that actually combines those three all together and works really well. But lemon oil is very cleansing. It really, is very uplifting as well. So I diffuse that oil a lot, and I drink it in my water, and I use it actually for cleaning all around the house. I take like a Windex sized bottle, I put about 10 drops of lemon oil in there with water, and I just spray it on my countertops, and I sometimes will add some other oils in there as well, but the house smells amazing and it comes so clean. And you can use lemon too, like if you have marks on the floor or marks on your shoes, or sometimes those little stickers that come on shoes to take off, you just put a little bit of lemon oil on that and it'll take it right off. So it's just a beautiful oil that I love. And I know a friend of mine who actually shared that she feels like it helped with her arteries too, because it's very cleansing and keeping those running, what's the word I want? Clear, clearer arteries. And then I want to talk about people say, what is your favorite oil? And I think one of my most useful favorite oils is On Guard, which is an immunity blend. So we're all dealing with seasonal issues these days. And it seems more and more, it's not just winter time and cold that we have seasonal issues. So On Guard is an immunity blend. I put a drop on my foot every night, and it really protects me. And if I'm feeling a little bit of something coming on, I'll just dab a little bit on the end of my tongue and do that about every 20 minutes. And within, a couple hours, I feel fine again. So I love this. And On Guard is great for cleaning as well. There was actually some tests done in some Petri dishes with some other products that you're real familiar with. And On Guard actually outlasted them for cleaning. So it's a beautiful cleaning product. And then there's Melaleuca, which a lot of you know as tea tree oil. I look at this more as like an antiseptic, but this is one where I can really point out where you can save a lot of money when people, if they tend to think, our essential oil is expensive, most of the oils are like $10 or $20, and there's 300 drops, so they last a long time. And lavender and Melaleuca are great. Like the other day I was having a little ear tension going on, and I just took Melaleuca first and put it around my ears. And then I, right after, I took the lavender and did that. And I did it for 2 days in a row, and no ear issues. And that's especially great for those little ones. You don't want to, doctors are great. I have no problem. There's reasons that we need to go to the doctors. I love Western medicine when you need it. But I really look at oils as a first line of defense. So try this first and see if it works with the ear issues. And it probably most likely will. So it's a beautiful thing, as I like to say. And, talking about lavender, and then I want to add frankincense. Frankincense and lavender are what are called universal oils. So basically, if you don't know what to use one of these. They're pretty much cover everything. And frankincense is, the king of the oils. It's in the Bible. I use it for many reasons. It's really good for tension, but it's also really good for head tension as well. I'll just take some and put it in the roof of my mouth if I have head tension going on, and it takes care of it really frequently. It's also great for meditation. I'm a big believer in meditation and stress reduction, and so I use frankincense frequently for that. And then Digestin. So many people have digestive issues these days, and it's, the foods we eat are not exactly always preferable and make our stomachs happy. And some people want to eat things that maybe they shouldn't, and so digestion comes to the rescue. And we have most of our nerve endings are around our belly button, so that's where I'll tend to put it if I'm having any kind of stomach discomfort. I'll just put the Digestin right around my belly button, or pouring it in water. It's also great for that. I know a lot of men especially that have some issues going on here with digestive issues, or having a little heartburn. They'll just put some Digestin in water and shoot it down, and it's within a very short time, it's better. And that's what, oils are so effective. They work pretty quickly. They really get in and cover every cell in your body, within about 20 seconds. So they actually get into the cell, and that's why they get to the root cause, versus just surrounding it, and really help. But Digestin too, it's, most of the oils are all antibacterial, antispasmodic, and Digestin is one that's great for that. I'll use this even on an airplane. If my ears are starting to pop, I put it on the back of my neck, and it just releases that pressure. It can also be used too, if you have some puffiness or some sinus issues going around, you just put that right under your eyes, right in the sinus areas, and it'll take care of that as well. All right, let's talk about breathe. So many people today, again, another one of those issues with breathing and respiratory things going on. Breathe is a wonderful oil. It actually helps with snoring too, so I've helped a lot of people be able to sleep in the same bedroom again, which is a beautiful thing. So now I think I'll jump into talking about ways to use the oils. So I've been talking a lot more about the aromatically. So aromatically is one way to use oils, and that's just basically either putting it on you, like breathe oil if I'm having any respiratory stuff going on, or if I start getting a little bit of a runny nose, I'll just dab some under my nose, and then I just breathe it in, and I can feel it all the way in my lungs, and it's amazing. I love it. It feels so good. So, and then diffusing is a real popular way. All of the oils can be diffused, and it's just one of the best ways to use oils for your home to keep, especially with products like On Guard and things like that in this winter season and seasonal threats. That's a good one to be diffusing all the time. And then people coming in will say how wonderful that your house smells as well. And then the other way to use oils is topically, which I just did this way too. It's aromatic and topical at the same time. And there's different oils that can be applied topically. Some oils need to be applied to be diluted, depending upon if they're what we call hot oils, like clove and oregano. Those tend to be a little bit warmer oils, so you don't want to put them right on your skin. But there are parts of the bodies that are not sensitive to heat. So that would be the palms of your hands and the bottoms of your feet and the roof of your mouth. So you can take a hot oil and put it in your mouth that way. Like clove, for instance. I use clove quite a bit. It's really good for mouth health. So I take clove and I'll rub it along my gums, and my teeth are, when I go to the dentist, I always get good checkups. And I use a toothpaste that has clove in it as well, but clove is one that has one of the highest antioxidants oils. So like one bottle of clove is equal to like 120 pints of blueberries, something in that regard. So that shows how much antioxidant it has. But otherwise, some people that have sensitive skin just always want to dilute their oils, and so we have oils that will come pre-diluted. I work with those a lot, or you can make your own blends. I do a lot of DIY stuff around the house because sometimes it's just like anything else. When you go and get medicine, sometimes maybe that medicine didn't work and you need to go back and try something else. It's the same with oils, that sometimes, like lavender, for instance, lavender tends to make most people relaxed, whereas peppermint tends to wake more people up. But some people are the reverse, and they actually use lavender during the day, and they'll use peppermint in the evening to actually calm them down, and a lot of times just putting it on the back of their neck. I actually like peppermint too. I use this peppermint a lot because I don't get them too much anymore, but I tend to get hot flashes a little bit, so I'll just put a little peppermint right on my thyroid, on the back of my neck, and it cools me down immediately. And that's something I didn't mention with peppermint, for anybody in the summertime, which I can't wait till we're back to summer. It's really good for cooling you down in this warm weather. So peppermint's a favorite for sure. And then the other way of using oils is internally. And it's totally a choice to use oils internally. That's one of the ways I prefer it. But please, please, please make sure that you read the labels, that you read bottles. The oils I work with actually say essential oil supplement on them, which means they're food grade, which means they can be used for cooking, and you can also use them safely internally. And, and it's, like I said, it's that comfort level. If you're not comfortable with it, you don't have to use them that way. They're still very effective, just putting them on your body. And always with kids that are 6 and under, always dilute oils. You always want the oils to be diluted, and just put them on the bottom of their feet. It's such a nice way to put your kids to bed and things like that, and they love it, rubbing their feet with a little bit of oil, and then they sleep so well. And I'll have to go back to lavender because I've been on a few airplanes where children are, anxious. And I had one little girl she kept trying to get out of her seat and taking the seatbelt off, and we were taking off, and she was pulling stuff out of all the paperwork out of the back seat of the airplane, or in front of her seat rather. And I asked her mom if she was open to natural solutions, and she said, I am. In fact, she was a nurse. And so I said, can I put some lavender on your foot? And the little girl said, of course, you know, and she like whipped off her sock, and I put lavender on one foot, and she took the other sock off, and I put lavender on, and within 10 minutes she was out for the whole flight. And the mom was like, thank you. So it's like those little things that I love, the little ways that these oils can help. And like I said, there's like 300 drops, so it lasts a whole long time. And then I know there's always so much that I want to mention. There's a lot of blend oils that we work with as well. And oils can be good for emotions, you know, as well as physically. This is a book that I love, so you can go to an oil. I have this little process where I scan people, and it tells you what oils or supplements your body prefers. But I use this book a lot because sometimes an oil will come up and it doesn't make sense to them, like their body, they said, I don't have those symptoms, but then they read the emotional aspect of it and it totally makes sense to them. So I love referencing this book. And there was a study done a while back, and it was a placebo study, and one of the oils that came up the highest that actually helped change people's perspective and mood and everything else was an oil called Forgive. And I use this oil all the time, and it's, you know, I just find that people either need to forgive themselves or someone else, and so this is one where I'll just, you know, when I'm in traffic, I use this a lot. You need it in traffic these days, you know, to forgive. My wish is that everybody would have a diffuser in their car and start diffusing, so when traffic is coming and you don't necessarily like, you know, the way people are driving, you could just push a button and diffuse your favorite oil to help with that. So a couple other oils that I want to mention that are personal favorites, but in learning about oils, that's the one thing that's always great is you know, learn as you go is what I say, and learn what oils that you prefer or aromas you enjoy. Like I absolutely love lemongrass, and lemongrass, you know, I've done a lot of dancing and running in my life, and so the joints, you know, were not as happy as they should be, and I'll just take a little bit of lemongrass and I'll put that right on my knee or my ankle, and you know, I might layer it with copaiba, which I'll talk about, and it's better within minutes. And it's another one too, you know, that's good for cholesterol and some other things too. I'll put it in smoothies and have it that way. And this oil is, I'd say, a little bit spicier one to drink. So in a smoothie, it's great. You know, some people drink it in tea, but the thing is, oils are so potent, you just don't need very much. So you can, especially if you're going to use oils for cooking, you want to make sure, like oregano, do not put a whole drop of oregano in your spaghetti. You'll ruin it. You really just take a toothpick and just stir it in there, and then just see how it tastes after that and kind of use it, you know, like you would anything else that you're using for flavoring. But the oils are so good for cooking. I use quite a few of them to make a number of different recipes, you know, fish, you know, all kinds of bruschetta, whatever it is. We have a oil I work with called Wild Orange, and it's very uplifting, one of our most widely used oils. And like if I'm going to a dinner party and I have fruit, I'll actually put Wild Orange over it, just a couple drops. I put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. I take it out and mix it all up, and not only does the whole table smell good, so it'd be a good one to bring to Thanksgiving maybe, but or any other family event, but it's very uplifting. It's called the oil of abundance, so people get happier when they're smelling that oil. So using them for cooking is another beautiful thing, as I like to say. And you know, these days there's a lot of issues with stress and anxiety, and a lot of the tree oils are, you know, really good for dealing with stress. But there's a lot of other great oils too, like rosemary, and again, how versatile these oils are. Like rosemary is really good for memory. I used that in memory care when I worked with people, along with peppermint. but I also used it to grow my hair. My hair never used to grow long, or it wouldn't look good when it was long. And so I'll put, I use cedarwood actually and rosemary in my shampoo, and it actually helps my hair grow nice, stay long, and it grows really fast. Every so often I have to get like several inches cut off because it grows so fast. And I've had a lot of great friends that have had that success using that as well. And you know, there's some other DIY things that you can do. I really just recommend, like I said, trying oils as a first line of defense, because you can always try something else later, but as I mentioned at the beginning, there's no side effects, and you know, you can't get addicted to the oils. Well, maybe you can in a way, in a good way, because you want to use them all the time because they work. But you start finding, you know, like I know family members of mine have found ways to use oils that I didn't even know worked. You know, they figured out ways to replace other things that they were using that might not have been as great for their body long term, and figured out a solution to that. And you know, we teach a lot of free classes because we really want people to be educated that all oils are not created equal. There's, you know, it's kind of like anything else. When something good happens with a company, people jump on the bandwagon, and everybody carries oils. Like you can get them at all kinds of stores, your neighborhood stores, your box stores, and they're not all the same. You know, you really need to understand quality, and really reading labels is just so important. You know, you want to know that the oil that you are putting on yourself and your kids and your family is 100% pure. And a lot of people can say it's natural. You know, that's just a label that people can use, but they're not all natural. Some people, there's synthetics in oils, and we actually, the oils I work with actually have a lot number on the bottom, so you can actually go to source2you.com and you can actually look up and see exactly where oil came from. And you know, oils, to be their most effective, really need to come from their indigenous source and the right climate. So we get oils from about 47 different countries, I believe it is now, all over the world. And the growers that we work with are just amazing. And most of them are exclusive with us, you know, because they love how we treat them, but we love and teach them to treat the oils very well and not overuse plants and not overuse trees, so that they're going to last a long time and be really effective for you. So I love this oil, cypress. Cypress, you know, from having kids, sometimes you have a little incontinence and things going on. I could never jump on trampolines and things, and still I started using cypress. I started putting it on my abdomen every day, and you know, people ask, do I have to use oils forever? I did it for about 6 months, and now that issue is no longer. I've run 5Ks and been totally fine, where that wasn't the case before. But cypress is also really good for circulation. I teach classes at some senior living communities, and cypress, along with clove, is one that's been really helpful for some of my seniors for circulation issues, but also really a lot of side benefits with, like that I mentioned, the incontinence, which sometimes when people have bladder and incontinence issues, it can be mirrored as different things that are really only that issue and not something else. And clove is actually really good for eyesight as well. I had a woman senior that I worked with, and she was using both of those, and she said, I don't have to use my magnifying glass anymore. You know, she said, I still have to wear my glasses, but she said, my eyes seem better. And we've had a lot of people go to the doctor thinking, the eye doctor, thinking that their eyes are worse when they actually find out that they're better. So clove is a great one for that. And there's, you know, a lot more about oils. There's a lot of different places you can put oils that, you know, work directly, like here, the pads, you know, works directly with the eyes. And the bottoms of the feet, there's a lot of different places that if you really get into oils, you can look at those charts and find out exactly where to put it if you're having a certain issue that you want to address. So that's always fun. And then, you know, addressing, a lot of people have physical discomfort, and I love this product. It's called Deep Blue, and it has peppermint in it, but it has some other oils in it as well. But it works really good for that. A lot of athletes are using it because it's just pretty immediate, and it's really cooling. It can either, depending upon your body, it either heats up or cools you down. But it's also good for tension sometimes. I'll just put that on my neck at night, and it actually helps me sleep better as well. So, you know, covering all those areas, I know there's so much that I could teach about oils, and I said, you know, normally my classes are probably 45 minutes to an hour long, but I like to teach on all the basics that most people use. I work with about 100 oils right now, and I continue to find new ways to use them, and I love when people share other ways that they're using them. But I can't stress enough to make sure that you're using good quality oils and that you are reading what's in them. And you know, there's a lot on the internet that you can read as well. Like if you're having a symptom, you can usually Google it, and somebody will have written a symptom on a particular oil or blends to use it for. Like with the winter coming up, you know, we have the flu balm and things like that, where there's a number of different oils in there, and the minute you feel something coming on, you can, you know, put all those oils and either just drink them down or put them on the bottom of your feet, you know, whatever is your desired method, and they work really well, and they work really quick. You know, not 100%. Sometimes, you know, it just helps you get through it quicker, which is great too. You know, you're not, because some people are just down for like 2 weeks with the seasonal stuff, and I don't know about you, but I don't have time for that. And so, but if you're proactive about it, a lot of times you won't even have to go through that at all. I'm very proactive with my health, and that's what I really want people to do as well. And then just, you know, people tell me I smell good all the time too, so that's always a beautiful thing, you know, and it's like helping people get happier naturally too, like Wild Orange. I've been in stores and had that on, and people, they get happy. It's like, do you smell orange? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. You know, and thinking of even sending your kids to school and with some oils. A lot of schools now are using oils, and hospitals are using them. When my mom had an issue, they actually gave her orange to help with her nausea, you know, instead of giving her a med, which warmed my heart, and they love the oils there. I work with a lot of nurses and health professionals, and it's just beginning to for people really to understand it a lot better. And that's why I really wanted to do this show, to make sure that everybody really understands a little bit more. And I would love to hear feedback if you want to learn on more oils, you know, more types of classes. I teach different classes on different subjects, but oils are my favorite thing in the world, probably. And they work so well with all the other modalities, too, of the people that I am interviewing on this show. So, having said that, I think I've probably covered most everything, and I use a lot of sprays too. I make my own DIY sprays, so there's just a lot of ways that you can use oils. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to our next topic. We have a couple more coming up here next month, so continue learning, continue growing, and ask questions always. Thank you.